Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Becoming a childcare director is a huge responsibility. One day you're excited about the opportunity, and the next is you're realizing you're responsible for everything. The children, the staff, the schedules, the licensing rules, and about 100 other different unexpected things that will come up. Many new childcare directors step into this role with great intentions, but without the experience to know which mistakes to avoid. So today, we're talking about the biggest mistakes that new childcare directors make. Let's get into mistake number one, and I've been there. These are all things that I've done myself, so I'm talking about it so you can avoid this mistake. That's trying to be everybody's friend. You're their boss at the end of the day, and that has to come first. They're not your friends. They're your employees. And I know how it feels when you don't want to upset the staff. You're short-staffed. You don't want to upset the staff because you need them. You don't want them to leave. But you can't be scared to lose staff. You have to always be hiring, because if you're always scared that if you say something to somebody and they leave, you're going to always have that anxiety. So mistake number one. Mistake number two is avoiding difficult conversations. You're going to have these conversations with parents, with teachers. You're going to have difficult conversations. And that comes to, job performances, parents, and setting the standards for the rules. So be prepared, okay? Number three is letting too much slide. If you become a doormat, people will walk over you. Self-explanatory. Get off the floor. So you cannot go into it letting a lot of stuff slide. You have to stick to those policies, and put up boundaries, okay? They need a good boss who sets expectations and who holds people accountable. You're creating a safe space for people to come to work, a good environment. So set those expectations high and stick to your policies. You can still be kind and supportive, but you also have to be clear and consistent. This is another mistake. Not enforcing the policies. And we talked about this in previous videos. If you go back and watch those previous videos, we're always saying stick to the policies, not enforcing your policies. New directors sometimes feel uncomfortable sticking to the policies, so they let things get by. We can't do that. If you ignore the small issues like late pickups, late payments, dress violations, coming in late, being on your phone, if you let that stuff slide, it becomes a bigger issue. So nip it in the bud. Small problems grow into big problems when they're not addressed. So address everything and don't feel uncomfortable. That's your job. And when you do your job well, people know not to play with you. Next is trying to do everything yourself. And that's when the burnout happens. And I did a burnout video about 2 videos back. So go back and watch it. So you'll know how to delegate and have the staff help you. You have to trust them to do their job. So delegate, delegate, delegate. Trying to do everything yourself will burn you out. Like I said, go back and watch that video, okay? Great directors build teams. And that means trusting your teachers. Trusting your teachers and allowing them to do the job that you hired them to do. Let them do the job that you hired them to do. And if you need to hire more people, assistant directors, cooks, janitors, floaters, so that you're not burnt out, do it. If you can afford it, because it will come in handy. You don't have to do everything by yourself and hold the center on your shoulders. People are capable of doing their job, so let them. Next up is avoiding those difficult conversations. Sometimes you have to address it. You have to address if someone is not doing their job right. You have to go in there and you have to train staff appropriately. If you see something happening or a parent brings something to your attention, like once in my baby room, I had a parent call me and she was like, "Hey, Tiana, when I got home, so-and-so's diaper was on backwards." And I'm like, "What?" So I'm embarrassed because maybe the person was moving too fast. I don't know how you put a diaper on wrong, but I had to go in there and address that issue, okay? Like I said, parent complaints. That was an example of a parent complaint. Staff conflicts. You have staff members who are at each other's throats. So-and-so gets to open every day, and I want to open. I don't want to close. I don't want to go in the toddler's room. Why I got to go in the preschool room? So you have to get in there and you have to address those conflicts. Policy violations, that's another thing. So stay on top of it. The conversations can be uncomfortable, but they have to be made. I had another one. A parent was at a restaurant and she was talking to one of the girls at the restaurant. Her child was being talked about because one of my teachers had a second job at this restaurant, and she's telling her other coworkers how this one child was getting on her nerves. And it got back to the mother because they were friends. So the parent comes to me and was like, "Hey, so-and-so is at another job talking about how she can't stand my kid. He cries too much, this and that. I'm not bringing my child back if she don't go." So those are the tough conversations that you have. So you need to have that type of stuff in your policy and employee handbook. And we did. So I brought that employee into my office and I'm like, "Look, that's part of my rules. You cannot discuss these children outside of this business. And if you do, you will be terminated." So that's what happened. Okay. She broke a rule and she was removed from her duties at the job. So be mindful of those things. Okay. Not addressing them won't make them disappear. Okay. So handle it. Last but not least is don't forget to take care of you. And we talked about that in the director burnout video. Go back and watch it. And that's taking your self-care days and how to do that. What you can do to take care of yourself, okay? So you don't want to Keep doing the overtime because that leads to exhaustion. So you want to make sure you're doing your job, letting the teachers do their job so that you can focus. Because when you're overwhelmed, you can't be a good director, okay? Every experienced director goes through these mistakes. Every experienced director goes through this. So don't think that you're alone. We all have room to grow. So the key is you're always learning and growing, okay? I hope this video helped you. I hope it helped you. I want to hear from you in the comments. And until the next video, guys, I'll see you later.